What is up, Thunder fans? Welcome back to Thunder Forum Live as we are going to talk about post-game reaction to the Thunder's victory, 126-107 over the Houston Rockets in a game where I think most people thought the Thunder would bounce back with the W in a pretty convincing way, and they did. One of the better offensive games of the year for the Thunder, I thought. Really nice when you have Chet, going for 29, Shai going for 29. That's always great. You had Jalen Williams with 14. But Chet, one of his better games since probably, I'd say, game?
Maybe one.
Since game one. But he had a few other good games. I just think offensively, this one's his better game. Shot the ball well. That's right, Colin, 8-1, baby. But, yeah, good game. Good to see Alex Caruso go 2 for 3. I think he ended up 2 for 3 from the three-point line. But good to see him make a couple of threes and have a good percentage from there. Defense wasn't great still, 107 they allowed, but it's a victory, a good win. They got a long homestand, going to see what they can do at home. So what do you think, Jackson?
Yeah, you said it, the Thunder, they got it done, and Shai did Shai things. I think that's good to see. Shai Jay, I don't know if maybe you have the final stats from the game, but Shai was pretty efficient from what I had seen. Chet, he played a heck of a game. I don't know how familiar you are with the Thunderverse on Twitter, but Thunder and Rockets fans, you can kind of say there's some beef there, maybe like the OU and Missouri fans, maybe if you want to use that comparison. Chet Şengün, that's been the talk. It has been for the last couple of years. Chet absolutely owned Şengün tonight. I mean, Chet dominated the game. I think Şengün, he might have finished, what was it, a -12 on the night. I saw somewhere, but I could be wrong on that. But Chet, man, he took control of the game. Alex Caruso finally got a 3 or 2 to fall.
Yeah.
J-Dub, maybe didn't have that 20, 30-point game like we can see Dub do at times, but he maybe played that quote-unquote third star role tonight in a sense, just 14 points, played his role. Lou Dort did Lou Dort things on the defensive side of the court. This Thunder team, yes, they gave up 107 points, Jason, and for Thunder standards, that's not a good defensive game compared to what they've done this year. But the Thunder, I thought, were still solid on the defensive end of the floor.
Yeah, and some things I'm looking at when I look at this stat line here is I'm looking at minutes played. And Wiggins got 30 minutes, which is good to see. And Mitchell had a good game, guys. I mean, Mitchell had 12, 5 of 6 from the field. You also had Isaiah Joe, 14. He played 24 minutes. Caruso only played 14 minutes, which is kind of crazy. And Lou Dort only played 19. So two of your better defensive guys, if you want to look at defensively, they allowed 107. Well, two of your better defenders only played 14 and 19 minutes. So this is one of those scenarios where you can kind of rest guys but not sit them. You know what I mean? So that's good. And I want to get into this because I was wanting to talk about this tonight, Platoon 20. I'm glad you brought it out.
Yeah.
Brought it up. I, for the first 4 or 5 games, thought this Cleveland teams, they are not for real. Guys, they are for real.
They're legit,
they destroyed Golden State, scored almost 140 points on them, 136-117 final. They're the real deal. So better buckle up. Now, I don't think they have enough to beat Boston, but I think that they'll be right up there with them. I don't think they have enough in playoffs to beat them, though. Hey, let's get to a caller on the line. We got Colin. What's up, Colin?
What's up?
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
Doing good, man.
That definitely felt good for the Thunder to get back into the win column playing the offense. I think we had 70 points by halftime, which was good to see. Yeah. And I think this game shows from last game to this game that we can't have, as much as I would like to see it, I don't want Shai taking like all the transition pull-up threes. I feel like he needs to stay in the mid-range area because that's where he averages 30. And you saw he was having his way with any defender came after him. And then like you guys alluded to, Caruso starting to finally maybe find a three-point shot, and then Chet just dominating how he normally has this whole season.
Yeah, you mentioned the SGA, 1 of 2 from 3. I don't know if it was you that called in the other night and said that you wanted just two threes would be great from you.
That was me that said that on the live.
So that's what he did tonight. He's just 1 of 2. But like Colin said, that's his game. When he's not shooting threes, he's really good at getting to the rim or getting to his spot. Maybe it's a mid-range. He's really good at getting to his spot. So
Well, and Colin, I think something that you said that I said after last night's live after they lost to the Nuggets, was that Shea wasn't playing within the flow of the game against the Nuggets tonight. Shea was doing that, doing Shea things, playing within the flow, getting to his spots, Jay, as you said, and Shea showed why he's one of the best players. If not, there's an argument that he's the best player in the NBA. So, I mean, he
I
did that
also
exactly tonight.
I also feel that AJ Mitchell should get more time playing and more minutes. He seems like a
I
phenomenal
agree.
rookie, and he's been definitely putting up points off the bench.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see what Dagnall does, Colin, because you get to look at guys like Mitchell, Wiggins, Joe. I mean, you can go down the list and how they're going to balance that playing time. And it might be game specific, like matchup wise, but I was glad to see Wiggins get 30 minutes tonight. I was glad to see Mitchell get 20. I think that's great. So,
Yeah.
Lastly, would you guys, this is hypothetical because I saw it going around and I thought it was a weird trade, but would you trade J-Dub for Kevin Durant?
No.
I don't want. Hey, Colin.
No.
Hey,
Hate that.
Here's how I answer that, Colin. When KD left, I had some Kevin Durant shoes. I threw them in the trash.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds childish, but I was ticked, okay? And I don't want him back at the Thunder. And I know there's a lot of people that would say, yeah, bring him on, that win the championship. Maybe one of these legacy things when he's like 38 or something. I don't know. I'm not ready for that yet, Colin. Are you?
No, I think we have a good young core, and I feel like we can't just run that young core we had. Because even SGA and Chet both had 30 points themselves.
Yeah.
Tonight.
You know what you know how I would answer that really would be this. Thunder, go win one without him and then go get him. I'd be fine with that. But I kind of want to win one without him first and be like, hey, we got it. And then you want to bring him on to help get maybe if he wants to ring something. But I wouldn't go for it right now. And I wouldn't trade Jalen Williams for him, no.
It's just like the same Thunder fans that are saying, oh, well, we could go out and trade for Giannis. You do not do that. You let this young core, you let them potentially win a championship together, spend these next 2, 3, 4 years. And then, yes, if Kevin Durant decides maybe he's interested in Oklahoma City, and if Sam Presti's like, well, Kevin Durant, you're 37, 38 years old. Maybe if you want to come be a mentor to these guys and have a chance to win a chip. But before they even trade back for Kevin Durant, I would rather see them trade back for Russell Westbrook and let him have a chance to potentially ride the bench as a mentor and get a ring. But
yeah. Hey, Colin, appreciate you calling in. Thanks, bud.
Thanks.
Have a good night. You know, Kevin Durant, people talking about Kevin Durant. He's trying to get his own ring there at Phoenix. Phoenix beat Dallas tonight in a great game, 114-113. And Phoenix, don't look now, they're 8-1 or 9-1, whatever. Their same record as the Thunder. So the Warriors just lost their second game. So the West is top heavy right now.
Well, and I think something with the Suns is whenever I look back to this offseason, I think they did one of the most underrated things in hiring Mike Budenholzer.
Yeah, he's
because I thought he was a great coach in Milwaukee. I think they kind of just reached their peak. He got a championship with them, and you see what Doc Rivers is doing with Milwaukee. Absolutely nothing. They're not very good.
Yeah, it's a great point, and it's a great hire from Phoenix. I think so too. Bishop says, if we get Cooper Flag, somebody got to go. Yeah. And I agree. Bishop, it's a real thing, and that could happen. And you're right. Somebody would have to go in that situation. And I've already said who I would do. I am
Dub.
No, listen. You got Jalen Williams, Chet, and Shea. I'm doing everything I can to keep them. Lou Dort. And I know Jerm specifically disagrees with me on this, but I think you could put Case and Wallace. And he's not as good as Lou Dort defensively, but I think the longer he plays for the Thunder, that he can get close to that range. Okay. But somebody would have to go. Maybe you would have to get rid of more than that. I don't know. I just think they're going to be paying a hefty tax. So Thunder needs to get ready for it because they're going to be paying a bunch of money in taxes for these players, just like AKA Golden State did to win some rings. Well, if you want to win the rings, hey.
I think it's worth it, Jay.
You know who says it? Sam Presti says it. Scared money don't make none. So,
yeah. Yeah. Hey, Jay, for
Yeah.
you, with how the West has gone through the first 9 or 10 games of the season, if like these trends are to continue throughout the rest of the season, are maybe the Suns for you the second scariest team to face outside of the Thunder if you're a playoff team, just due to the fact that Kevin Durant, Beal, and Devin Booker, them three can take over a game.
Yeah.
Probably just offensively like no other big three in the league can. And that's not even a shot at like the Thunders. I just think they're natural scorers and they all are just have more experience under their
I
belt.
agree. The Suns, I have the Suns right now in my top 2 or 3 of the West rankings. So I
Yeah.
think they're a good team. They're a good team. I think Dallas is still up there for the Thunder because I think that matchup is a matchup. And then I don't think the Warriors can keep up the pace they're doing right now.
I don't either.
But you never know. I mean, Buddy Hield only had 3 tonight. That's shocking. He's been so good this year. Hey, Colin makes a good point. I absolutely cannot stand it when teams constantly double the big man.
Yeah.
I think a lot of times, I know you're trying to get turnovers. A lot of times it leads to teams getting hot from the 3-point line.
Yep,
AKA just the other night against Denver when Joker had like 16 assists. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
There's a point sometimes in doing it. Yes. But what you can't have happen is you leave shooters open because NBA shooters will absolutely demolish you. They will. This is NBA. They do this for a living.
Yeah.
This isn't college. They do it every day. So they're good at it. Thunder again tonight, 40% from the 3-point line, guys.
Yeah.
It's a trend now for 2 years. They are a very consistent, for the most part, shooting team. I say consistent for the most part because
playoffs.
Think that hurt them last year in the playoffs, Jackson. It did.
Well, and I think their 3-point shooting, particularly in the playoffs last year. I don't know, Jason, maybe if you can go and find Isaiah Joe's stats from the playoffs last year. But
No.
I mean, I wouldn't even say he shot above 25% from 3 in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I
he didn't have a good series.
And then I thought Cason Wallace in that opening series versus the Pels, I thought he shot solid, but like versus the Mavs, he didn't shoot the clip that we've seen him shoot. Dub didn't. So it's like when he gets to this playoff time, and that's why I think having a guy like Hartenstein in the playoffs is going to help so much because it's going to take some bearing off Chet defensively. Hartenstein is going to be able to play more of your physical way, and Sooner Splash this year. Thunder, they did bounce back in a big way, and I would be shocked if Thunder lose back-to-back games one time this year.
Not once.
Not once. I would be shocked. I think they're going to be that good at responding from losses. And now, obviously, if you have a very tough 2-game stretch, that could happen. But I just think the Thunder, each night, they're going to be able to beat you in so many different ways. I think it's going to make them tough to beat.
Yeah, and it was good to see Chet hit those threes, 4 of 6 from the 3-point line.
Steven Adams.
He's not, Chet Holmgren, he's not a 5. He's a 4. And I think
I agree with that.
That's what he would like to play as the 4. And just right now with Hartenstein not there, he's not going to do it as much. But I think deep down that's him to a T. Now he can go down there and block shots and do all that stuff, but he's not your true prototypical big man down low. Denny says we're the best team in the NBA. I think you have 3 teams right now. Actually, you have 4 teams right now, 2 on each side. You got Boston and Cleveland, and you got the Thunder
and the Suns.
But I'm telling you, what Denver did to the Thunder the other night, Denver, hey, they're not very far removed from winning a chip. So you can't just disclude them or exclude them. I think Denver's still a good team.
And now I don't know how hard of a take this is for me or as you guys in the chat would think, but if Anthony Davis is healthy on that Lakers team, we saw what they're doing with AD after he got hurt. Things have been very tough for them. But I think if AD is hurt, I don't think any team would want a part of the Lakers in the first round series. Yes.
If he's healthy.
Now, exactly. The thing is, AD gets hurt every single year. He can't stay healthy. That's the issue. It's the same with the 76ers. Joel Embiid and Paul George. They more than likely are going to get hurt. And who even knows if Joel Embiid will play even 30 games in the regular season, Jason?
Well, they're not very good this year. That's flat out. They're not very good. They're just not.
And you can go ahead.
I was going to say, I did see this clip today, Colin, on Twitter.
I agree with it.
Yeah, I think Man, that's a tough comparison. Here's the thing. They got I don't know. I mean, KD was so stinking good that year. And so was Russ. Harden and J-Dub are very similar, I think. Very similar. So, I mean, I see the comparison. I see that you could say they're better. I could also argue the other way that they're not as good. I think you could argue both at this point.
For sure.
So
it's very that is a tough thing, and because I wouldn't even say it's fair to compare those two teams because it's a different style of play. The NBA game's changed since 2012 so much.
yeah. Do
And
you think they have enough
now
experience to win the championship this year?
yes, and I think it's due to the fact that they added Hardenstein and Caruso both.
Hey, Jesse, here's how I would answer that. I think based on the NBA and the history of NBA, that you almost have to go through stages to win chips in the NBA. And you see it all the time. And so I would think this is what I would pick right now. Okay. And it's a Thunder show, but what I would pick right now is Thunder versus Boston. Boston gets him. I think Boston gets another one. That's how I would pick based off experience right now. And I mean, of course I might be wrong. I'm wrong all the freaking time, but I do think that you do kind of have to go through stages, and maybe this year it's to get to the championship, and then you got to get past Boston probably. And I just think Boston's got a lot of experience. Now we'll see. What the Thunder has is very young players, youth that could get you far too. So see. We'll see. It's debatable right now, Jesse. I think it's a very debatable question.
And also, I do think something that a lot of Thunder fans, they do realize it, like the thoughts there, but we haven't seen this team healthy yet, Jason. We haven't seen Hardenstein. We haven't seen Jay Will. What kind of role will Kenrich Williams be able to get himself into just due to experience and the effort he plays with? We know that Mark Daigneault loves those kind of players. So it's like, what is this team going to look like when it's healthy? And will they? And something that I do think we will see in the playoffs is more of a matchup based kind of rotations due to the depth that they have. For example, if you play a team like the Mavs, you probably will see more of a Jay Will and Kenrich Williams with Hartenstein and Chet due to the fact that the Mavs have a couple more bigs. But if you play a team like the Nuggets, you can play a little bit more small because outside of Nikola Jokic, they don't have really a five that legitimately is going to do anything. So it's kind of and then also like if you play a team like the Suns, you can play a lot more small ball as well. So it's just you kind of just have to wait and see.
Yeah, and Colin says if the OKC Thunder don't win
I agree.
4 years, it's a massive failure for the
I
franchise.
agree.
It is an absolute failure if you don't win one the next 4 years. I mean, listen, they were the number 1 seed last year in the West. And I know they were young, so people give them a lot. Well, it's hard the first year. So, and a lot of people are picking to be the number 1 seed this year. If you're the number 1 seed in the West, that means you should be in the finals. And so you would have a 50-50 chance to win it all. You're absolutely right, Colin. They got to win one. They got to win one over the next 3 or 4 years. When they get healthy, they'll be so good. Yeah, they're already so good. And when they get healthy, it's going to be more about the timing of it all and getting guys experience playing together and all that. That's the main thing.
Something that I think I'm most excited for when this team gets healthy is, yes, the Shea and Hartenstein 2-man game is going to be fun to watch, but I think the way Chet Hartenstein can play off of each other, like, do we see a Chet Hartenstein pick and roll at points? Because Chet can handle the ball. We saw him tonight hit that nasty sidestep 3 over Sengun.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how they do that for sure.
Yeah.
Hey, AD, they look scary, and I'll be the first one to admit I was flat out wrong on Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I didn't think he was this good. He's good. He's really good.
Now,
and Mobley's really good.
I do think the Cavs are a really good team, yes, but I just like
you're not sold, are you? You're not sold.
I'm not sold yet. It's so early in the regular season still.
Are you not sold? Are you not sold on them being really good? Are you not sold on them being the 2 seed? What are you not sold on?
I'm not sold on them being able to make a run in the playoffs.
Really?
I'm not sold on that.
How many games straight do they have to win before you'll say that?
Well, Okay, I think they need to get to the All-Star break being a top 2 team in the East. And then I think I'll be sold on this Cavs team to make a run. But if they drop down to like 3, 4, 5, I'm like, yeah. I know that the Knicks, they've sucked early, but I think if that Knicks team can figure things out, they could be a problem in the playoffs.
Yeah. This is a great comment from Clement. Tonight, the focus from the second quarter on was on point. Locked in defensively, got stops, and then getting a rhythm on either the fast break or getting early offense by attacking the paint. I love the early offense stuff. And I was watching the game with my son. I was like, oh, man. First quarter, I was like tied up. I was like, golly, I thought they'd bounce back better than that. You look up and they're up 15, 20 points. I mean, you're like, wow, that was quick.
Yeah.
And they can do that too. That's what they can do.
Mhm.
And they did that. And when they get turnovers and get easy buckets off turnovers, that's when they're at their best for sure. And I can say that about any team, but the Thunder's really good at getting turnovers when they're playing the best defensively.
Yeah.
And they were knocking down the threes. Another 40% clip tonight. Sooner Freak 29. Cavs will fall in the second half of the season around fourth. You agree with that, Hunter Jackson?
Yes, I think I do. I just,
So who's
Jason,
who's your top 2 in the East then? Boston and who?
Boston and my second team in the East. I don't know how crazy this is to think, but I think the Knicks are going to get it turned around. And I think the Knicks with Jalen Brunson and Carl Anthony Towns and OG as their main 3, and you have Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart. So I do think they have some players there, but I don't think the Cavs team, Jason, I don't think they have the pieces to make the deep run in the playoffs.
It might be.
Now
It
look,
could be very much like the Thunder last year, where they have a great regular season, and then they get past the first round.
yeah, and if the Cavs make a run, I will say it flat out. I was wrong about them. All right, I was wrong about them, but I'm not sold on Cleveland. I'm not sold on them.
Yeah, and you mentioned, who did you mention? What team did you just mention?
The
Oh,
Knicks.
the Knicks.
Yeah.
The Knicks. That may be a trade that both teams get worse. The Towns trade to me, I don't understand it.
I
Either
don't.
way,
I don't
Minnesota
understand.
was right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that trade to me made no sense.
What
Like
do you think about the Pacers?
I don't know, man. Like Tyrese Halliburton, he's up and down. Like he's a good player, but I just I don't know. A team that I think is one piece away from being a legit contender in the East is the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh,
They're
I think
just
any more than one piece.
really, I don't know. I think they're just a star, maybe wing, an elite scoring wing, and okay, I would say an elite scoring wing and a defensive stopper away from being a contender.
I don't know. I'm not sold. I like Indiana. Whoever asked that. Also, AD says they played them tough last year. They did. You're right.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
did. So that's a good point.
And Indiana earlier in the regular season and before overtime, I think they blew like a 12-point lead with like 4 minutes left or something versus the Celtics. So, hey, if Indiana can make a run, I think that just shows to show how good of a coach Rick Carlisle is. I think he's a good ball
Oh,
coach.
he's a really good coach. I mean, he's in my top 3 or 4 of NBA coaches right now. I still think.
Oh, nice, yeah. Who are your top 4 coaches in the NBA?
I mean, I got Dagnall up there. I got Rick Carlisle. Gosh, I think it's hard to beat Eric Spoelstra.
Yeah.
I mean, what he does with the Heat consistently.
Yeah.
And then I actually love Boston's coach. I think he's awesome.
So you don't have Steve Kerr in your top 4.
And Steve Kerr's up there too. Yeah. Steve Kerr. Because I think Steve Kerr, you're seeing what he does. He takes whatever talent he has and molds it to have a good offense. He does.
Yeah.
I mean, and I'm sure I'm missing someone, but that's probably my top 5 in no particular order. That's no particular order.
And
that's top 5.
I think for a legacy guy like a Greg Popovich, he would have to be up there.
Yeah, but right now, I think in this league,
no.
I just think it's
oh gosh. One coach that I do like, I know this team isn't very good right now, but I do love their head coach, is the Charlotte Hornets head coach. I don't know his name off the top of my head, but I'm a big fan of him as well.
So Sunday night, Thunder, Warriors. You'll be at
I'll
the
be
game.
there.
You'll
Yeah.
be at the game. That'll be fun. You know, the Warriors, I thought they were going to be one-loss team too as well, but they lost tonight to Cleveland. Cleveland spanked them.
They
So
got spanked.
they'll be coming in to play the Thunder with 2 losses now in the West. So that'll be a great matchup. That's probably, other than the Denver game, that's the highest quality matchup the Thunder have really played, right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be a great matchup Sunday night, and we'll be on live right after the game Sunday night. I'm trying to remember what time that tips on Sunday night. I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm not sure either.
But that'll be a great game. I will say this, they did kind of honor Judy Love tonight, which was great.
Yeah.
They did that. Just man, just what a human being.
Yeah.
What a person.
Jay.
Yeah.
I know for me, and I'm sure like you're probably expecting the same, but I think on Sunday night the Paycom Center is going to be rock with Golden
Why would it
State.
not?
Yeah. Yeah, true. It's always a
rocking
great
every night, bro.
yeah, but I'm saying like it's just with the Warriors coming to town, Steph Curry, that name and everything, it's going to be an electric
6
environment.
p.m. All right, so 6 p.m. This is great. So we will actually be doing the Thunder Fan Forum live before our Sooner Surge live because we go at 9:30 then. This game will be over with about 8:30. So as soon as that clock strikes 0, we'll be on Thunder Forum live. So make sure you join us. First off, thank you for joining us tonight. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
This is something we're going to try to do this year with post games. So it'll continue to grow because of people like you. Share the word. Thanks for calling in. Appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a great Friday night, what's left of it, and enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you Sunday night.